Hi everybody, welcome to the walkthrough. As we journey through life, the year 2021 has been a journey where we have the ups, the down, the good, the bad, the ugly. And as we journey through the course of life, today I have with me some friends. This is a special edition to wrap up the year 2021. So this is TWT with friends. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Thank you guys so much for joining me. And today what we're actually going to be talking about is more of a reflection of the year 2021. And what has the year been like for you? What are the biggest takeaways and what are you looking forward to 2022 for? So Precious, what has 2021 been like for you so far?
Good. 2021 has been a chapter of understanding God's will, understanding the way God works. It's been a year of testimonies, but a year of learning as well. A year of listening more to His voice and realizing that you can't do things by your own way, in your own time as well. A lot of times we think that we don't wait for God's timing, but God's timing actually perfects a lot of things. And we feel, sometimes we try and we fail at it because it's actually not the right time to do it. And one of the biggest lessons is that a lot of time God knows what He's doing. We just have to let Him do His work and let Him use us to work in His life. Yeah.
So you mentioned about God's timing. Could you give an example of one area God taught you the importance of His timing, the importance of waiting at the place?
God taught me. So I've been trying to get a new job for a long time now, and during the summer, I had interviews everywhere. It's as if I was a hot cake on the market. And people were like, "Oh my God, we'd love to have you join the team." And one by one, the rejection letter was just coming in. One by one, it was just coming in. It was the first one would be like, after the interview, like, "Oh my God, we'd love for you to join the team." A week later. So thank you for applying, but we moved on with another candidate. Then there's one actually that really pained me. Two that pained me the most was I thought that was the perfect role for me. I thought that was like, I was like, Kasala boss, I found it. This is it. There's nobody this job will fit. Like there's no person that can fit this job except for me. And that's how they hit me with the recommended but not recommendable. And I said that, what does that even mean to be recommended for a role after doing an interview? And after the director is the one that even messaged me and said you should apply for this role but not recommendable. I said Then the third one was this company. They were even the one that reached out to me to even apply for the job. Can you believe that? And it was going so fast that I went through all the stages of interview that we even got to the part that where we came to the virtual Zoom interview. It was, we were talking and before we were so relaxed. I was talking about Netflix, your favorite chips, thing to do. And when you get to that point, you think, I've gotten the job, because you feel so comfortable. And they gave the vibe that because they like a lot, they really focus on teamwork and fitness the team. So that gave me the vibe that we've done it again. They sent me. They never replied me. I had to not get the HR again. After they were just replying me so fast, my application. Oh, thank you. We're moving on to the next stage now. And then after I see when they slide into your DMs, and then nothing. They just ghosted me. So they didn't even say anything to me, and I had to email the HR. So after a while, I just said, I was tired actually. I was demotivated. Then God used. So that came to around December time. And so, but towards the end of the year, we did an end of the year review, and my manager, who God has used her in so many ways in my life, was like, "Precious, I know this job is not your strength. I know you don't look like the type of person to sit behind the desk all day and looking at financial statement. I know your strength is to be out there talking to people, talking to clients. So I saw this other job in a different company that will fit you that I think you should really apply for.
Wow.
And the interesting thing is that this company that I was mentioning before, I've checked them out before, but they didn't have any roles. They didn't post any roles at all. They didn't. It was one of those places where you say, send your resume if you think you fit the team. And how do you even know what kind of resume to send to them?
You can't tailor your resume.
Exactly, right? So I saw, and me, I'd never see the role, and I'll be searching for jobs, and I don't see these jobs. That's the funny thing, because at least I'll check at least 3 times a day on Indeed, be searching for jobs, right? Well, anyway, that's how I applied. The start date was supposed to be November 26th. I applied like the end of October. Indeed gave me that notification that they've seen your resume. Like, you know when they say the thing has seen has opened your resume. So getting that notification, I was like, okay, at least they see that resume, because I tailored that thing I packaged it. If they see that resume, they should at least call me for interview. They did not call me. Did not call me at all. And that I've been swiping my email. And when I apply for a job, I get really addicted to checking my email constantly. So I'm swiping and they did not call me. So I applied for this other job actually, and all of this was towards my birthday. So I applied for this other job, which called me instantly. They closed. They called me right after. Immediately they closed. They called me, like, immediately the job posting closed. They called me for an interview, like the next Monday, and I went to the interview. It was the first in-person interview I've done since forever. I wore a suit, you know. I came so early as well. Like, I was there. I knew at the end of the interview they're already asking for my reference, so I knew they'd given me the job by God's grace. But the official letter did not come, so still the peace still wasn't there. And so that same Monday, I went for the interview with the second company. It wasn't really my first choice. I just say, let me go and see what's there. This one is not bad either. And the thing that already given up on the first job was because the start date has already passed. The date was that to start the role that they put was already coming close. I was like, it doesn't make any sense. So every day I used to check LinkedIn to see someone that's changed jobs. You know, people say that this person is starting this new job. I say, at least I know many people is saying gets that job, and I don't know. There's no way I'll at least know who gets the job, so I can see who got my job. And I've been dreaming that I've gotten this job. I said, but what's going on? So the company called me literally that same Monday for an interview out of nowhere that Friday. I did the interview Friday. They said, oh, they can't get back to me so fast because they have their 25th anniversary, all of this, all of that. So they won't get back to me until the upper week. So me waiting. Out of the two interview, nothing has even really come through successful. I just knew that I'm leaving. So then that's how when the first job offer came in, I saw it. It was below my expectation. I said, Father, what's going on? And there are some many people that can testify that I was just miserable, because it just wasn't like I wanted to do it, but it wasn't what I knew God had planned out for me in that way.
And that brings to mind that the expectation of the righteous shall not be cut off.
Yes, ma'am. It really was not what I had planned in that. Like, it wasn't what, like, I just knew it wasn't it. So I just said, okay, they gave me a deadline that I have to get back the offer to them by tomorrow. I said, okay, give me one more day. Between those few days of just waiting, I sent email to congratulations on your anniversary, you know, just trying to do some sweet words. Just wondering if there's any updates. They did not even reply my email for 2 days straight. So I was like, so within that moment, I when they gave me, then this email me the next day for an extension. So I just took an extra day extension to think about the offer, right? So the night I decided, I made up my mind not to accept it. I said I'll send them an email the next morning, that Thursday morning, saying that I reject the offer. That thank you so much, because we were actually negotiating, but then after negotiating fell through. It didn't work out, so I rejected the offer. And that same morning I was about to type that email, the COO called me and offered me a manager position with the company.
Wow.
And it was really unbelievable, because it was like right, it was, he called me and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry for getting back to you late, you're actually the top candidate, we just need to do references. I gave them my reference. My Scotiabank manager who's been God has used constantly. She was one of my reference. So I used to text them. I used to like, so did you guys get the call yet? Just trying to get updates.
Just checking up with your
checking up with the references, right? And well, at the end of the day, we thank God. Literally the day. So when I spoke to him, I was like, oh, I'm actually coming to Halifax. And he's like, oh, this is so great. We'd love to meet you. We should meet up. Even if you don't take the job, we'd love to meet you. Me, I'm already thinking in my head, I'm taking the job, but at least let's see official offer letter. Yeah, so seeing the official offer letter. I literally got the official offer letter the day I landed in Halifax.
Wow.
On that first day, as soon as I landed in Halifax, I opened my email when I got off the plane and it was right there. And the thing that made it all perfect was, before I started, I had already told God that I'm not spending more than 2 years at this job. And exactly after 2 years full time, He promoted me to something else. So instead of all the running around that I've been doing in all those different places, I wasn't patient enough. I was just running around. So then I say God's timing really perfects everything. It really does. But we as humans, sometimes we want to do it our own way. And we want to rush everything to be sharp. Or we get tired of something and try to force something. But you can't force it because God just knows a way of doing it all. So yeah, that's my testimony.
Well, that's such a beautiful testimony. It's just amazing how God makes everything beautiful in His time. There's a beauty in God's timing that despite it not appearing to be so, even though there might be distractions that might come up along the way, but once we hold on to the promises of God and we work with those promises, we see them being fulfilled. So it's not just enough to have the desire, it's also to pray towards that desire that you're being led towards, so that you bring it forth into manifestation in the place of talking to your Father, which is very important. That was a lovely testimony. Thank you for sharing with us. We appreciate it. Give God the glory. Person that is going to share her journey is Eniola, and I know 2021 for her has been a year for growth. So if you could focus that in line, that light of growth, especially with your walk with God, because I don't know, like Paul would say, I thank God for your life.
In terms of growth, it's so funny because Sadami was saying the same thing as well. Like in terms of growth, people are telling me, "Oh, you changed." I'm like, "What?" It doesn't feel like I have, but I guess I have. In terms of my relationship with God, I think the most significant thing has been being surrounded by people who are focused on growing in Christ. Mm-hmm. And I was just even telling Ayo and Beatrix, like before this podcast, like the church I was going to before I was very comfortable there because it fit like my personality. Like I was like, oh, they're not loud, I don't have to shout when I pray. I was like, yeah, it fits me, like, because me, I don't know how to shout when I pray. And so for the longest time I was going to that church because I was comfortable, because it fit my personality, but I wasn't growing. And not to say that people weren't growing at that church, but I wasn't growing because I was just comfortable. So when the pandemic happened in 2020, we moved our service to online. And I found it really like, online church for me was
a challenge.
Yeah, it was challenging. I couldn't connect. And already it was hard enough to connect at that church because it was not, everyone was friendly, but we weren't close-knit. So online just made it feel like we were just like strangers, yeah. So my roommate at the time, Esther, now said, okay, well, come with me to my church, we're still doing in person. And so I thought, okay, fine, I'll go. And so I started going every Sunday. And it wasn't like instant how it happened. I just kept going. And God kept moving me because honestly, it wasn't my first choice. Because my church right now reminds me of my mom's church. And I didn't like my mom's church. Because my mom's church, they were always shouting. And I I said, I don't want to go to a church where I have to shout, because it's not me. It's not me, in quotes. But I realized that I hadn't given it a chance because I was closed off. I said, it's not me, it's not comfortable. And it wasn't comfortable because I was seeing people that were challenging me to go outside of my comfort zone. And I didn't like it, because growing is not comfortable. It wasn't comfortable to be to be challenged to pray out loud. It wasn't comfortable to be challenged to interact with people, because at my old church, after church I'm out. They had a shuttle, so I get on the bus and I'm gone. I don't interact with anyone. I go listen to a sermon, I leave. But at this church, it was like, you have to talk to people. People have to get to know you. People want to be your friend. I'm like, what? What is all this? And I had to rely on people to get a ride to church, which I feel like God really used, because staying after church helped me to get to know people, as opposed to the shuttle waiting for me right outside church and I just leave. So anyway, the more I went there, the more I just felt like this peace. I knew that God wanted me to be there. That was honestly the reason why I stayed, because I was like, there was a peace I had there that I didn't have anywhere else. And I'd been church hopping. I'd gone church hopping because I thought the church was the problem, but I was the problem. I was like, I need to find a church that fits me, but I needed to fit into a church. And I found that at my church now that I was able to, they pulled me in, and I was able to get out of myself, because it was a very selfish way of thinking that where I go has to fit me, so I have to fit into where I go. So anyway, started going there, started getting it, and the thing is, now I'm involved in these different things that initially, it wasn't me going out searching for things to be a part of. Like, somehow someone will call me, come and do this. Somehow this person will say, oh, you should go. Like, I remember when I first volunteered to do like children's class, and Toby put me with the infants, and I was like, why? Because I wanted to be with like the teenagers, because they're interactive, but Toby put me with the 0 to 3 year olds, and I'm just like, this is wickedness. Because I was like, I didn't expect to be with the babies, but it stretched me, because those babies can mess you up, and they mess you up. There's like 10 of them, and they don't. Anyway, so
they're a blessing and a heritage from the Lord.
Exactly, but they can also poop. And it's bad. So anyway, I do that, and it's challenging me. And then RCF, and I don't know. I wasn't joining these things out of my own, I want to be here. It was kind of like God was pulling me into different places. And as all of this is happening, I'm also getting more responsibility at work. I'm doing all these things, and I'm just like, but God, you know that I'm not a leader. I don't lead. I follow. I'm not an out there person. I'm in the back. And I just felt God trying to pull me out of that whole thing. Like, you might think you're being humble, but it's actually selfish, because people might need you to do something for them, and you need to be at the front to do that. And so that's my challenge now, where it's like I feel God is pulling me to come out from the back, and I'm still kind of like resisting, because I'm like, I look at myself and I'm just like, I'm not material, I'm not leadership material, I'm not, it's just not me. And God is trying to say that I will make you into that person. So this is happening in my work, this is happening at church, happening in my personal life, where there's so much growth, and it's scary, but it's also like I'm surrounded by so many like people, so many good people, that it makes it less scary, because I see them do it, and I'm like, okay, well, if Toby can do it, if Precious can do it, if Stedami can do it, then I can do it too, So yeah, I would say that's all. Long story short, I don't
know. And the beauty, I love what you said about growth is a place where you're not comfortable, because when you're comfortable, you just would rather stay and stay the same, just enjoy the temperature being lukewarm. But God said something the type of church is looking for, because if you're lukewarm, He will spit you out. And God just wants us to be on fire for Him, even with the pandemic. So that step of even God using Esther as a pulling force for you is to stop you from getting colder and then getting more becoming more distant from him, but he used it as an avenue to pull you closer, and not just closer to him, but also to build a community. Because that's the beautiful thing about having a community around you, is that when you're down, they're there to uphold you, not just verbally or encourage you with the word of God, but they also pray for you. So it's nice. And you talking about being a leader, Jesus said, who is a leader? A leader is someone who is ready to serve. As if you're too big to serve, you are too small to lead. And the most important thing is just to continually have that servant heart, but not a servant heart that will drop all responsibilities, because we do have destinies that are attached to us. And I do see that the Lord will make disciples out of the people that are around you through your life. Amen. Glory to God. Thank you for sharing. That was beautiful. That was so beautiful. Yeah, our leader. So there's so much happening. So we've learned so far about the beauty of God's timing and the importance of being ready to submit to the will of God, because in his will you find community. In that will, in his will, you find blessings that you never even budgeted for to begin with. It just feels like, I don't know, there's this European doll that when you keep opening it, you just see more things inside. So that's what it's like with God. It's like, oh God, I thought I've seen everything, and then it's like, voila, hi. And it's just so amazing how God never really stops. He just keeps chasing after us to get our love, our attention. It's not that he needs it, but yet he loved us so much that he came to die for each and every one of us. And I love the way Romans chapter 5 puts it. It says, while we were utterly helpless, we had no hope whatsoever, Christ died for us. And he also died for you. So at this moment, if you're listening and you're like, I kind of want this in my life, just to have a community that would help me grow, not just spiritually, but also physically, career-wise, come to your Creator. He wants to have a relationship with you. He's knocking at the door of your heart. He wants to dine with you. He wants to sup with you. He wants to be in you, around you, within you. And it's just so beautiful just to have a relationship, that our life can be a testimony, not just for ourselves, but also to people around us. And that's the joy of being Jesus lovers. That's the joy of being a Christian. That's the joy of being a Christ follower.